I want to talk about something here with Zay Frank's most recent video about horseshoe crabs. Right there. So again, Zay Frank went down to my hometown area, to Cape May County, New Jersey, where I'm from, where I grew up, to shoot this video about horseshoe crabs. I do think he's sending me messages with this video, for those of you who are new to this, because I've been accusing him of being in a cult for about 3 years. Just go back and look at videos I've made about him on my YouTube channel. One of the messages I think he might be sending is the horseshoe crab might be symbolic of myself, perhaps, or an individualized spirit or soul. We'll get into that in a moment. But he talks at one point in this video about saving the horseshoe crabs from dying on the beach. So they get stuck. And you can also see here, there's a picture of him. There's a little video clip of him out on one of the beaches there, Reed Beach, likely. And he's wearing a hat there. It says, save the chubby unicorns. And there's a picture of a rhinoceros on it. So again, something with a long horn. And it's to do with horseshoe crabs, which also have sort of a long, pointy horn sticking out of them. A horn is a phallic symbol that could be equated with spirit, possibly. Some people see spirit as being a masculine energy that animates the flesh, a more masculinized energy if you were to give it a gender. And they see soul likely as being more feminine energy. So it seems like he says at one point that they tried to save the horseshoe crabs that get trapped in the rocks and up in the dunes so that they can be returned to the sea or the ocean before they die. Now, I do think that that is meant to be symbolic of saving the soul or the spirit trapped in material world, in the flesh, so that they can go back to the source energy, God or heaven, whatever you want to call it, before the soul or spirit, I guess, suffers some kind of spirit death, what have you. So it's possible, the message that he's sending me. By the way, why do I think that? Because, first of all, the source energy, source of life, heaven, whatever you want to call it, is quite often symbolized with the ocean or the sea. Look at it this way, like one single droplet of water would be like an individualized soul, right? And then eventually it returns to the ocean, to the sea, to the source. So if you study symbols and symbolism and philosophies behind them as much as I have, you will see that pop up quite frequently, is the source energy that supposedly all souls come from, or all spirit comes from, is quite often symbolized as being like a sea or an ocean, and individual souls being like a drop of water. So it would seem to me that he might be trying to send me the message that he is trying to help me or save me. What exactly are you trying to save me from? Spirit death? To that I say, just to put it bluntly and a bit crudely, go fuck yourself. Sorry, I'm not going to be nice about this. So I think I thought that I already kind of explained this, but I'm just going to try to make it as clear as I possibly can in this video. I'm 40 years old and I'm very observant. And the more I live my life and the more I step back and observe this world and the people in power here, the people who run things, the political families, the Bushes, the Clintons, right? Trump, Elon Musk, Joe Biden, Jeff Bezos, the people who have all the money and the power and the influence are clown demons, right? They're demon clowns. They're evil creatures. They're highly narcissistic. Republican, Democrat, I don't give a fuck. It's all the same to me. They're all evil. I know there are people out there, they've never met a millionaire in their lives and they never will. I've met quite a few in my lifetime already. I've worked for some. Lou Altobello in South Jersey, big time landlord, big time asshole. He's a pig. Mistreats his tenants. He allows black mold in his buildings. He's a bad person. And also, a lot of people say that he barely acknowledges his own son who has developmental problems, and just a piece of shit all the way around. Then there's David Royal Saint Sing. He owns resorts and a construction company down in North Carolina. I worked for him for a while. Also a big piece of shit. Pig. Neglects and abuses the horses at his resort. Is passive aggressively abusive and spies on his employees. Just an evil piece of trash all the way around. I once worked with one of the girlfriends of Peter de la Monica from the De la Monica family. Get another millionaire. She used to tell me he'd go on cocaine binges and then say horrible, abusive things to her. Not that she was a real prize either. She was highly narcissistic herself. So, from what I've seen and experienced firsthand, and then observed also just, the Windsor family, the fucking British royal family, all the royals in all over the world, all the political groups, the people with all the money, the people with all the power and the influence are highly narcissistic pieces of trash. And they've turned this world, maybe it's always been this way, maybe at one point in time it actually was a decent place to live. But right now, it's a shit show circus run by demon clowns. And they will never let you be successful like they are. They won't even let you have a fraction of their kind of success unless you join their rape club. They are rapists. The more I observe of these people and research these people, the more I realize that all of the aristocracies, all of the royal families, all of the major political families are in secret societies. They're basically cults that got out of hand, and they practice incest. They practice child trafficking, child rape, corruption of innocence, and sacrificing children and innocent young women to gain power and money for just personal gain. Meanwhile, all I want in all of existence in the whole world more than anything, I want a few things, but the one thing I want more than anything is to be a mom, is to be a good mother, right? Is to be a wife, have a family, have a good man be my husband. Have some kids, have the resources to be able to be a stay-at-home mother, keep my house a home, homeschool my children, be on top of their good nutrition, their good health, their education, their proper emotional development. And that's not possible in this world. Because people like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Biden, I don't give a shit, all of them, have made it so that, and Ze Frank and his family, who might be a little bit lower on the totem pole, but they've still joined the circus, haven't they? They've made it so that you have only two choices. You are either one of the demon monsters who abuse and enslave people, or you're one of their victims. They do not like mothers. They don't like good mothers. Good mothers produce good, healthy children, smart children. And they can't have that. They don't want smart, healthy people who think critically and have all the tools for success, because then they wouldn't have any slaves to scrub their toilets for minimum wage or less, would they? It's not in their best interest for most of the population to be able to step back and have a look at all the problems in society and see, like, think critically about it and see to the root of the problem and realize, oh, it's people like Elon Musk. It's people like the Franks. It's people like the Clintons. It's people like the Bushes. It's the Windsor family. It's all of them. They're the problem. Because on that day, if that ever happens, those people, those families, the Windsors, the Bushes, the Clintons, the Franks, all of them, we'll hunt them down, we'll round them up, we'll string them up, and they'll be burned alive. That'll be the last day they draw breath on this earth. They don't want that, obviously. And at best, we'll just stop giving them money and free labor. We will just shut their shit down, kick them out of their mansions, stop buying their products, stop making them rich, stop giving them power, stop working for them, and they won't have all their goodies anymore. And they don't want that. They want this pyramid of power. They are at the tippy top, but most of the world are slaves with health problems, emotional problems, psychological problems, poor education, because that makes people easier to control. And they want wars. They want wars every few years because wars cause such trauma, generational trauma, that again, it makes people easier to control. These are the people that start the wars. They're at the root of all this nonsense. So again, your only option here in the material world is be a demon monster that rapes children and babies, or be one of their slaves. That's a real fucking Sophie's choice, wouldn't you say? And what good person, what good mother is going to birth a soul into that trap when they know that it's a trap? Nobody. So it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of things. You can't be a good mother either way. Either you're choosing to birth a child into a world. It's not just a matter of like, oh, there are bad things that happen here and there are evil people and my kid's going to have to come up against some obstacles. If that were the case, if that were just, it's just some bad things that happen here. My kids might have to experience some bad things. If that were the case, if it were just that, but I knew that most of the time good triumphs over evil, I'd still give it a shot. I'd still say, hey, okay, let's bring a kid into this world. But again, I know too much and I've seen too much. It's not a matter of good triumphs over evil. It's a matter of who has the most money and who has the most influence. And the evil people do. So they've already set it up. They set it up a long time ago. They will always win. I mean, Jimmy Savile should be a perfect example of that for you people. Jimmy Savile got away with raping countless children and disabled people. He had so much ridiculous amounts of money. He lived the high life. He rubbed elbows with royalty and celebrities. He procured children for some of them to rape. And he got away with it. He was never prosecuted. He was never caught. He was never arrested. He was never prosecuted. No one figured out what he was doing. It wasn't exposed or made public until after he was dead. That's called getting away with it. Look into Jeffrey Epstein. If you really dig into Jeffrey Epstein, if you look up Jeffrey Epstein ear, you'll realize that whatever dead body they carted out of that prison was not Jeffrey Epstein. The ear doesn't match. It just doesn't. Our ears don't change unless we suffer severe physical trauma to the ear to actually change the way that it looks, like a cauliflower ear that a wrestler might get. Unless you get something like that, a serious damage to the ear, your ear doesn't change. You have an ear that's very specific to you, like a fingerprint. And the ears on that dead body they wheeled out of the prison, and the ears on all the pictures we have of Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, they don't match. Jeffrey Epstein is alive somewhere. Likely. He's still alive somewhere on some island somewhere, raping more little kids. They set it up to get him out of there. I wouldn't be surprised to see that somehow P. Diddy gets out of this too. Right? They might once in a while make it look like they're sacrificing one of their own to appease the masses. But ultimately, if you look into these things, you really dig into what happened, they aren't really punished. They aren't really brought to justice. It's a shit show. So I'm not going to get what I want. Not down here in the material world, but I'm not going to get it in any kind of spirit world either. You can't be impregnated in the spirit world. You can't carry a baby to term in the spirit world. You can't birth a baby in the spirit world. There are no first times in the spirit world. It just is and always has been, you know? The only way you can have first times is down here. You come down here, you're in a body, you're birthed, you experience things anew for the first time. All over again. Maybe we do it for many lifetimes, I don't know. But that's the only way you can have first times is in the physical, material sense. So, the only way you can watch your baby smile for the first time is here. The only way you can hear your child call you mommy for the first time is here. So I'm not going to get what I want down here or in the spirit world or anywhere, in any way, in any place. So when it comes to, I don't know, trying to save my soul or my spirit, so before it, like, I don't know, dies or blinks out of existence so it can go back to the source, I just as soon have it blink out of existence. If I get a choice in the matter, that is what I will choose. When I take my last breath, when this physical body finally gives out, don't get me wrong. I'm going to fight the good fight and, like, you know, just kind of hang in there, at least, for the rest of this lifetime. But when this lifetime is over for me, if I get any choice in the matter, I'm going to request just to blink out of existence altogether. I would like my star to just go out. I don't want to go to spirit world. I don't want to go back to source. I don't want to try again in the material world. What's the point? There's no way to be a good mother. There's no way. You people have made it impossible. If you really want to help me, give me hope. Give me back my hope. And that's going to mean you have to go turn yourselves in. You have to go confess publicly to the entire public in a straightforward, easy to understand manner, not with riddles. You have to go to the police and say, I am a member of a cult. We rape children. I've raped children. You have to let yourself be put on trial. You have to go sit in a state-run penitentiary in a cell for years. You have to submit yourself to justice. You have to take your lashings. Show me that justice wins out. Show me that righteousness and goodness and innocence wins out over evil. Show me that there's hope. Then I will feel like, okay, I can actually have a baby here. This place is not just some evil cesspool hell pit. That no sane person, good person in their right mind would birth a soul into, right? Show me. Show me. If you're not willing to do that, then you don't really want to help me. You're just trying to help yourself. You're a liar. Whether you're just lying to me or you're lying to yourself too, I don't know. And by the way, who the fuck do you think how is it you imagine you're going to help me? You're worse off than I am. You're a member of a cult. I don't care what y'all call yourselves. A network, a secret society, a family. You're not a family. You can't even come talk to me face to face and explain things to me because the people in your little network, in your little quote unquote family, will murder you. That's not a family. That's called a cult, dumbass. That's called a fucked up shit show situation that you've found yourself in. I'm not a part of any groups of people that will murder me if I go speak to somebody and tell them the truths that I know. My mom might not like me doing certain things or saying certain things, but she's sure as shit not going to murder me if I do them or say them. Neither will my sisters. Neither will anybody I know that I'm associated with. You're a cult member. You can't even come speak to me without people likely murdering you. So I don't know how it is you imagine you're going to help me. You're the one that needs help, idiot. And again, like I said, as much as I want to have a baby and be a mom, I'm still torn about it. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. The Gnostics believed that, didn't they? The ones that believed in the Abrasics, the Archons and the Aeons, and the evil Archon demon Abrasics that ruled over the material world like it's the Matrix, basically, keeping souls trapped here. 1,000 years ago, there were groups of people called the Gnostics. You should know this. Zay Frank certainly knows this because he worships the Abrasics. And the Gnostics believed that it was an evil act to birth children into this world because it was basically birthing children into the Matrix, into a soul trap. And at first glance, that sounds crazy, but again, the more you step back and the more things that you realize about this world and the dynamics of power and who's really running things and the fact that they almost certainly, all of them, the guys in power, the real money in the world, they're raping babies. They're raping children. They're raping their own children. They're committing incest. They have kids just disappeared. And what can anyone do to stop them? Seriously. The more you realize that, the more you realize, like, oh, you know what? If this world is run by those people, then yeah, it might be an evil act to birth kids into this world. So, yeah, if I get just one special magic miracle wish at the end of my life, if I'm deemed worthy of that, it's going to be just to blink out of existence. I don't care if I tear a fucking hole in existence itself. They say that every person, it's the same idea that we're all like a water droplet in the sea of spirit or soul, the ocean. right? So that implies that every person must have their own little bit of energy, some kind of energy that's assigned us. It's just ours. And I don't care if that means that I literally take a little bit of energy with me. They say also that you can't, I've heard this, the scientists tell us that all energy that exists has always existed. Nobody can create energy and nobody can destroy energy. But something else they say is that there's a first time for everything. Right? There's a first time for everything. So maybe I'll be the first to blink myself out of existence because I know the truth about all of this. And tear a hole in the very fabric of reality itself. And I'll suck all you demon clowns out of this world with me. Maybe. There's some hope for you. That's what I hope for anymore. Because again, I did make that little promise to the world or God or the devil, whatever you want, that deal with the devil, that if I don't get to have a baby, if I don't get to be a mommy the way I want to be a mommy, birth my own daughter, raise my own daughter, have the resources to do it the right way, the way I deem the proper way to do it. If I don't get to have the full package, mommy, wife, family experience, then what is the compensation for that? The sacrifice will be you people, all of you, strung up, laid bare for everyone to see. That's my hope anymore. But I don't know, again, I don't know what it is you think you're saving me from. You want to help me? Go turn yourselves in. Otherwise, shut the fuck up.